All right, we finally finished our manor house, so that one's ready to go. We need about a little less than 50 regional wealth to convert into treasury, so we need to tax our people. It is going to hit us on the approval for a little bit, but that's not that big of a deal. So if we do 1%, every 1%, we're going to get 13. 2%, we're going to get 27. So 4% should be more than enough, right? And that's going to give us a 7% approval loss. Let me do some math here real quick. Yeah, 4% is going to give us 50, a little over 50. And we only need 42, but if we do 3%, it's going to give us only like 38 or 39. Don't think I can do decimals. No, so it's whole numbers. So integers only, but that's fine. So I think this looks good. And then next month, once we get the tick of taxes, we'll scale that back down. Actually, it's perfect timing. It's March 30th. Let's let the monthly tick go by. So tomorrow we'll see it. And we're getting raided. Lovely. And they're coming from the bottom of the map, so that's actually not too bad. I'm a little concerned if they try to attack our Himmelreich or Mistlitz. It's such a far trek to get up there, and I don't think we would get there in time. They would probably burn a bunch of stuff. But here we should be, I think... I don't think we'll have too much of an issue. Now, we do still need 2,000 influence, so these raids are actually helpful for us. Let's do 3 or 4. Let's do 4. Let's just do all 4. We don't need it necessarily, but I think the more people we put out, the better off we'll be. So here we go. We'll also get a corpse pit. All right, where are they? Yep, there they come. Should be 4 groups. Yep, there's 4. Did we get our cash? We did. 263. And then we should see a big approval loss for taxation, minus 7%. We don't need that much. Let's just tone this back to maybe 1% for now, and then we can adjust it later if we need more or less. So that's fine. So now we can start Schwarzholz, and we probably should. I think what we're going to do is, I know a lot of resources are up here, especially the stone, but I think it's better to set up down here at the mushrooms. And it would be better if we forced the animals to migrate down here. So 2 reasons. Number 1, it's easier to control your food than it is to control the trade resource or whatever you're doing up here. This is going to be pretty easy for us to do. The second is it's really close to this area, so we can easily defend this. We'll have to do something similar, I think, when we start this one. Maybe not, though. Shoot, that's tough. That's tough because the food's over here. We can't move the mushrooms. We can move the wild animals, but we can't move the mushrooms. Yeah, I don't know. That's tomorrow's problem. I guess let's focus on this. So 30, 30, and 30. We've got 60 troops total. That's more than enough. We should be able to do this without losing anybody. So, or at least that's kind of the hope. So here they come. We also have some retinue that we could deploy, but I don't think it's worth it. They wouldn't even get here in time because they would spawn at the top of the hill. It's just really, really far away. So what are these guys doing? Yeah, I think they're going to probably do the same thing where they try to flank. So I'm going to set one group up here to avoid the flank. These 2 will probably pincher, hammer, and anvil, deal with these guys. Yeah, if they don't want to go, whatever group they don't go for, we'll have them charge in. Perfect. Oh, they went for a side flank. All right, perfect. So now we can hit you with all 3. All right, there we go. They're dealt with. Let's regroup again. And now they're just going to be coming in straight. Here we go. There's 1 down the middle. Okay, that's 2. Let's let them touch. And then we're going to push them out. They can go heavy. And then these guys, I guess they're just not going to be around to do anything. So let's charge all 3 in. Oh, we lost somebody. Crap. I thought we were going to get away with this. Oh, nice and clean, but we didn't. Okay, only 1 loss, though. Okay, here we go. And they're chasing our trader. Let's just go after these guys. And there we go. No extra losses, just the initial 1. So we should be fine. We'll put maybe 1 person in the corpse pit, 1 in the church to bury our friend, and then we should be good here. So that takes us up to 1.9k. Nice. A little bit more. You need 2,000 to claim something that's owned by the Baron, so it's going to be just a little bit more. But is it raining? I think it's going to start raining soon. I do want to get this down very soon. So we'll probably get that one set up in just a second. We need to start Schwarzholz. Yep, that's all right. We'll deal with it in a second. What's the other resource? The rich mushrooms. That'll help quite a bit, actually. So this region should be fine on food as well. We'll just have to focus on getting meat. So, all right, what else? Yeah, I think we're good for a little bit. Let's just clean up the bodies. We'll continue to expand everywhere, and then we'll come back for an update when something interesting happens. All right, it's raining now in mid-April, so we'll wait for this rain to clear, and then we'll probably set up our town. All right, looks like the rain has cleared, and it's April 20th, so there's a little bit of time here, I feel like, before the next rain comes. Now, we should probably set up our town somewhere in this area or this area. Let's take a look and see where we can get our farm fields. Okay, so this is not a good area because that's going to be our primary farm. Yeah, there's not much here, actually. A little bit further down, a little bit at the edge of the map. Actually, there's a pretty good chunk here in the woods. But yeah, this looks like this is probably going to be enough for a small town. So I don't know that we'll need to do much more. There's a huge patch over here too, actually. So yeah, we'll set it up here in between the river. And then if we can, I would love to get the hunt right in this area. And then we can just tear through the woods in this area. I guess if it's over here, that's fine too, but yeah, I'd rather set the town up maybe like right here and then kind of do some connecting. We'll have to do a little bridge over this area, but I think it's definitely doable. There we go. So that seems to be a good representation of where we'll be setting that farm at. And then we could also connect our lands here. So we can get a little connector road, maybe right here. So that'll be a little crossover. There's another road we could do right here. There we go. So that's connected, and then maybe another one down here. There we go. So these regions are connected fairly closely now. And let's go ahead and set up our town. Here we go. We're setting the town up right here. So we'll set up on this side of this little creek. If we set up right here, we may not be able to cross this because a lot of times you have to have planks. Yeah, so you have to have planks to cross that. So that's not going to work. We'll try and get the maybe the hunt somewhere in this area or in this area. So let me mess with this, see if I can get it to move. All right, I got it positioned pretty close to the mushrooms, so I think that's fine. The woodcutters aren't going to be back there for quite a while, so they'll focus on this area up here. Yeah, I think this is fairly safe. The only downside here is we're starting to move closer to the edge of the map, which I'm not a huge fan of, just because, as you can see, if they spawn right next to you at the edge of the map and you don't have defenders, it's going to be a rough time. But that's all right. We'll figure it out. So I think at this point we can start setting this up then. So let me do that and we'll come back. So there we go. Got our starting stuff set up. The oxen's been ordered, etc. So we'll get this thing placed, and then we'll come back. Actually, you know what? We need to do what we did last time. Let's set a high priority on these, just because I don't want the rain to come. I feel like it's going to start raining very soon again. So there you go. Everything's placed. They're getting stuff off the ground. Get that bread, please. Oh, it's going to rain. Yeah, it's going to start raining right now. All right, there we go. So we should be okay here. We just need to continue our usual. So we'll get some more employees. We need to get all our houses, and then we'll come back and start to talk about how we want to approach this in the early stage. There we go. We just finished Schwarzholz and the 5 burgage plots. We've got one more. That'll be our spare. There we go. So we got room for one family to move in, which they should do any day now. We're at the end of the month, so there's the monthly tick. Now we need to work on food. So do we do mushrooms first? Probably, because mushrooms are going to go bad. They're going to start going bad sooner. So let's get one of these bad boys up. It's not far at all from our main, or from our granary, so I don't think we need to do anything too crazy here. Just the one, have it right outside, and we'll tie that directly in. We'll probably start doing hunting a little bit later. I mean, we could do it right now just to get some extra food going and knock that population down so they can start breeding, which I might actually do. We'll take a person off the logging camp, and then we'll get 2 people on the forager hut once that's done. Right, yeah, there we go. June 1st, we should see another spare family here any minute. There we go. Is it? No, Mistblitz and Teufelsberg. Unfortunately, it skipped this one. All right, anyways, we got 2 people on the forager hut. We'll start collecting as many mushrooms as we can before wintertime and before this thing starts to go dormant for the season. And then next building will obviously be another burgage plot, and then after that, a hunting camp. And then this place should be good. Well, we need to get wood cutting. We need, oh shoot, we also need, yep, I forgot. Let's pull somebody back. We need to get a well. So why don't we just build a well out here? Yep, anyways, I'll get this sorted out. It'll take maybe a couple weeks or so, and then we'll come back. And everything else is still kind of working on stuff. So we have 30 gold here. Let's go ahead and start the trade route for tools. So we'll purchase that, export down to say 20. We'll leave 20 in stock. 50 will be sold, and we should be making some decent profit here at Himmelreich. Also, I forgot to do this. We're going to go with the Regensburg Guildsmen. We just need to get some kind of regional wealth here. And then there's no real downside to doing that here. So we'll do that. This kind of the same excuse or the same rationale as we had up here. It's got stone, and the one that boosts stone is really not all that useful. Whereas that one is very useful here. So unfortunately, I mean, I kind of want to do a different one, but yeah, what can you do? So, but anyways, we got our first immigrant. We need to, or the first new family that settled. And let's get another burgage plot, and then we'll set this guy to collect firewood before we run out and freeze to death. We've got plenty of food though. We should be able to grow this one through the winter time as well. So there we go. We'll get somebody on the woodcutter lodge, and then we should be in great shape. And here we go. We're starting to see some profits here. So here at Himmelreich, we've got 160 sold from the start with pelts. But you can see here in such a short amount of time, we basically almost matched that. 105 from 35 tools sold. That's really good. Because we've been selling pelts since this thing started. And we just barely started selling tools like last month. So what we can do is start upgrading these. And we'll start getting some goats. So let's get maybe 4 or 5 of these. There we go. Yeah, 5 goats. We'll get 2 more down here once we have the cash. But that should secure most of our food needs. Especially once the bread comes in, then I don't think we'll have any issues at all. But this will help as well. And then, like I said, the hides that are generated can go to... we can trade those back to Teufelsberg. And then we'll start producing tier 3 burgers plots there. And we'll use the hides for leather and shoes. But I think for now we're okay. Yeah, we're starting to get some more crossbows here, so they should be picking them up. We're at 21 out of 36. We have enough people, we just need more crossbows, so we'll start producing that. I did swap back here to tools because we were just about to run out. So we need to produce a few more tools, but I went ahead and produced a little bit of the iron parts so that this guy can start making some more crossbows as well. So there we go. Yeah, we should be good there. So we'll get a few more. The pack station worker can start shipping them out. Perfect. They've got stuff to do now. And then back here at Schwarzholz, our new town, this place is in good shape. 13 months of food. And let's see, what did we set our minimum to? 6. So they'll hunt this down to 6. We'll pull the worker, put him back on the mushrooms. And then that'll be, I think, just about enough to... Yep, there we go. 7. One more, and then we'll pull and put them on mushrooms, and we'll get, like I said, as much as we can this year before winter sets in. We've got a mining pit exhausted. That would be the salt up here at Mistlitz. So we can delete that one because that's a temporary one. So cleared that. We can use the labor there for something else. If we can get it, there we go. Get back on this area. So they still need to pull the salt out. We'll wait for a second. And then how else... Or what else are we doing here? We're still converting firewood to charcoal, so we'll keep those workers on there. We are still pulling a bunch of this stuff out of the ground, the stone, so let's maybe put those 2 workers to work here. And then once this is exhausted, we'll go ahead and throw down a quarry. Yep, we'll throw a quarry down here. And, oh, you know what? We have not been replacing our planks. Let's go ahead and do that then. I did some expansion here at Teufelsberg. So a couple things. We've got another lime kiln. We've got the lime kiln here, and we set the limit to 10. We only need 10 of this to be able to upgrade the church, and then we need 20 cut stone. The cut stone is going to come from the stonemason station, so they take rough stone and turn it into dressed stone. So we'll get this, and once we start importing it, then we can use this building, but at least we have the infrastructure ready. I did spend a little time reorganizing some of the workers, so you generally want to put your farm, your vegetable and fruit workers on something that is not farming related. And so I put these guys on granary duty. So we've got 4 workers. These 4 workers from the duplex, they'll be working there. I need to reorganize this guy at some point too, but unfortunately he's pack station worker. This is really bad actually, because if they're all the way in the other side of the map, when the harvest season comes, then they're going to miss it. So I probably need to redo that actually. The woodcutter I think is fine, although I'd rather have the woodcutter live closer nearby, so I'll probably build a few more up here. But anyways, yeah, we're getting ready to upgrade the church, and then I think we'll be able to go to tier 3 soon. We do still need to get some alcohol in here. That'll be the final puzzle piece. Fruits and animal produce, that's no big deal. That's going to get solved this year, I think. If not next year at the latest, because this patch of trees has been working for a little while. These ones just started, but they're... the quinces will go faster and the apples a little bit slower, but still very fast. So we should have a full yield from that soon. And then finally, we've got our tannery. We'll need this soon. We could technically start right now because there are hides in here. You know what I might do? What if I have this guy handle all the hides and the leather? And then we'll disallow that from here so they can just focus on the other things. So hides and leather, we'll have it only go there. And then we'll put somebody to permanently work here. It's fine, we've got spare labor anyways. So that should be good. And then in those months when we have a bunch of hides being produced all over the map, like randomly way back here, those guys can go collect it since they have nothing else to do anyways. That should be fine. Yeah, and then up here, they've got a long way to go. So that should work, and then we'll eventually need to get a butcher workshop over here, and then we'll also need one more. We need a cobbler. I guess we should probably put the cobbler back here then, right? Let's go ahead and do that. We'll put a burgers plot back here then. So there we go. We'll upgrade this to a tier 2. That'll be our cobbler. And then we'll have all of our clothing and shoe industry over here in the bottom. All right, we're ready for a church here at Schwarzholz. We've got plenty of spare labor. We've got room. I think we have room to continue to expand throughout the winter. We got 15 months of supply. We do have a little bit of wild animals we can collect as well, so that'll go up a tiny bit. But yeah, so I think this town will get a very good start. And then once the church is up, we should have a pretty happy population, and then we should be good to go. So let's take a quick look. Harvest just happened. Let's see how many supplies we got. 155 wheat, 137 rye. For some reason, wheat is coming in okay, but rye is not. So let's see what's going on. Is it not replenishing fast enough? I wonder if wheat and rye are tied to the same field usage, because if we collect wheat first and then we get rye next year, I wonder if it drains it automatically. Like, so if we have rye here, actually let's look at one where we get wheat. Rye, yeah, see, it's gonna be on fallow. Well, no, I don't know. I'd have to watch it. That's a little confusing why it's not, but I'm wondering if that's what's going on. Maybe rye and wheat use the same nutrients, so that you can't crop rotate it with 1 year fallow. You'd have to do it a little differently. So that means we would have to change this. So we'd have to get like flax or barley or something. And then the other half we'd have to do rye instead of wheat if we want to get a full harvest. So that is unfortunate, but it looks like that might be the case. Let's see if we have the same issues at the other town. So Himmelreich, we got 55 wheat, 113 rye. See, that looks more accurate. But that's also our first year. So, and then what about Mistlitz? Mistlitz is 54 and 168. Wow. We had a really good harvest there. I should have paid attention to see if we missed anything. I need to do that next time. I messed up. Usually I'll pause it right at the end of September. So right towards the end of September and just check on the fields. But I completely forgot to do it this time. So, but anyways, not a big deal. But on the bright side, we are getting quite a bit of food, so we should be fine. So like Himmelreich, 4 months of supply, but that doesn't include the hundreds of bread that we'll get here in just a minute. Yeah, let's start putting somebody on the windmill, get this thing upgraded to tier 2 so we can turn it into a bakery, and then once they beat this stuff, then we should be good to go. Also, we're producing way too many clothing. It's going to clog up everything, so let's go ahead and export, pay for that trade route. This is at Teufelsberg. I'm going to go ahead and reduce this down to 200. So we'll sell off quite a big chunk of that for 3 each. And then we'll put a second person on here. We also have 2 horses. Well, we should have 2 horses. Yep, another one should be reserved there soon. So that will help them speed up the trade. So that looks pretty good there. Sheep have climbed up to 40 with 43 lambs. So that's actually quite good. We'll start slaughtering them soon, turning them into hides and chiffon. So that'll give us a little bit more meat, although I don't think meat is really that big of a concern. Yeah, we're just about done supplying crossbows to this area. 29 out of 36. Once that's done, we'll pause them and send them somewhere else. Are they going or coming back? Transporting iron ore. Okay, so they're coming back. They might have just dropped it off and they didn't grab it yet. Yeah, there's 4 more. That's only going to put it at 33. So they probably need a couple more trips, and then maybe we'll save up a small stockpile. Yeah, we'll probably save up a small stockpile there. And then that way, if they take any losses, they'll at least have something. We don't have to wait to replace them. And then we will transfer up to here. And we need to start pulling stone out so that we have something worthwhile trading. Now, the stone, we're going to trade for rough cut stone. So rough cut stone is worth, let's see, dress stone is worth 5. So rough cut stone is worth 3. And the iron ore we were trading is 1. So we were getting 5 to 1. We're only going to be getting 3 to 5. Yeah, so we won't be transferring quite as many crossbows. So what I might end up doing is setting 2 pack stations. So I built 3, and then they all have mules, so they should be able to do it pretty quickly. We'll take down any of those orders fairly quickly, I think. Yeah, so anyways, that's kind of what we're working on. And then I don't know that we necessarily need it right now, but I'd rather have it ready to go soon. So we'll get a veggie plot back here. So it seems like our mushrooms are able to hold, but the problem is we're at the beginning of the year, or sorry, we're right at the end of harvesting season. So that means this is as high as we're going to get in this region. So that will probably burn through fairly quickly. So if we get another source of veggies, I think that'll be okay for a while. And then we've got our 3 burgers plots in here. We'll probably do another one right here to even it out, but I don't want to grow the population too much bigger. So this will be 5 more families. And then we can throw them at the labor sources. I might clear this stuff out here soon. So we have a small stable, a saw pit, and then the livestock trading post. I might clear that out and create more granaries so that they can supply the marketplace. Also, looks like our storehouse is starting to get kind of full. Let's add another worker there. Yeah, we might need to do a little bit of reorganization here at some point. We could also kick this logging camp out too. This isn't necessary to be here, but yeah, we'll probably keep it, but yeah, we'll make some room for some other stuff. So that's good for Teufelsberg. All right, there we go. 36 out of 36 on the crossbow militia. Let's see how many extras we have. So we have no extras, unless it's at this one. No, it's at this one. Okay, so we have 5 extras. That's fine. Let's pull these guys back. Or you know what? Actually, no, we should allow them to continue, but we need to trade something else. So we need to trade for, because we need to keep the iron ore coming in. So what can we send back that they would actually find useful? Okay, here's something we can do. Let's stop selling pelts here. So I'm going to disallow pelts as an export. And then as they build up, we will send that over and we'll get iron ore back. I'm really tempted to avoid sending anything that we need to survive. So if we start to send like our vegetables, fruit, bread, any of that stuff, we're going to burn through those supplies really quickly. And then we'll have a starvation event here, which is not good. So let's kind of temper that a little bit. I mean, we do have a rich resource of wild animals here, so we'll get a decent amount in, but it won't be enough to where we'll just like immediately bankrupt ourselves. So what I'm going to do is get another group. Shoot, I don't have too many families to spare here. Yeah, we need people to move in here first, and then we can do it. Let's upgrade to goats. We got 3 more goats. We got our cabbages for the vegetables going there. We should be fine. So yeah, let me see here. Oh, you know what? We have a clay furnace worker that should definitely not be there. And also what I'm going to do is, let me pull these guys off. Pack station worker and also a woodcutter. Let's pull him off. And I think what we'll do is have him, these 2 families can work here. And then whoever's available can go there. And then one of you back on the pack station. Yep, that looks good. We still have a decent amount of spare labor. So let's put 1 person on here and we're going to barter with Mistlitz. So we want to send these guys, our crossbows, and let's go ahead and get some rubble stone for now. And then eventually we'll swap that out for rough cut stone when we can. But we at least want to get some crossbows going like right away if we can. So there we go. Another family working. So we'll keep this one going at all times. We want to have some trickle of iron into this region. We don't have a whole lot of iron here anymore. Well, we have 16 actually. That's okay. Iron parts. We have 31 crossbows. We need 36 for a full regiment, so we almost have enough for a full regiment actually. So that should be okay. We need more for the third region, but we're pretty much there if we can get a few more iron. So yeah, we're in very good shape here then. That's fine. We'll leave that alone. We don't want to get too many trades of this. We will need some rubble stone, but we don't want to flood ourselves here because we do have 67 still. It's not too bad. Yeah, if we can get that rough cut stone, the sooner the better. Why don't we go ahead and delete this actually, and then let's just get that going right now. So here we go, quarry. And like I said, that will delete whatever stuff we have on the surface, but that's fine. There's only 100 or so left, and then we should be okay with this one. We'll also start selling stuff here at Schwarzholz. So we do have a trickle of wealth coming in, but we need more. So if we start selling our pelts, that should help. And then we can start selling some other things eventually. We'll probably trade the iron ore for crossbows here at some point. Yeah, that would be a good idea. And then we can trade some other stuff too at some point. But I think we don't need to trade too much right now. Let's just go ahead and get a trader in here, get rid of the pelts down to 0. And then we'll get a little bit of cash here, and we can use that to maybe get some more meat, because we're going to run out of meat. We probably already have a deficit. We do, actually. Causes a loss of approval, which is fine. This place probably has a lot of pannage. Yep, they do. Okay, so pigs would be pretty good here. Connection not connected to the King's Road. So I definitely didn't build this road. This is definitely the King's Road. What are you talking about, dude? Oh, it's backwards. Okay, I built it backwards. And then we have to wait for that thing to clear, so I'm just gonna build it on the other side of the road then. Okay, well anyways, we'll get that fixed. We'll start trading some stuff, and then we need to start upgrading these. Probably with pigs, I think in the beginning is what we'll do. There we go. Now we can only afford 2 pigs here because they're pretty expensive, but once we get this going, we still have our pelt trade going. Yep, perfect. So we'll sell that, and then we'll use that to expand some more. So, man, we are expanding this place so fast. I keep just constantly having to build burgage plots. Let me get a few more built. We've got our quarry set up, so they will produce both rough rubble stone and rough cut stone. So they get both. I don't know what the ratio is. Maybe it's just 1 to 1. Yeah, it's 1 to 1. So 1 rough stone and 1 rubble stone for each worker that's in there. So that's good. And then we should start to see these guys at Mistlitz. They should start to pop up here with crossbows once this guy's done doing his trade. Let's take a peek. Where are they? They are coming back. Transporting rubble stone. Getting the mule. I don't know what are you doing, dude? So only 1 trade went through, I guess. So that means they should have some weapons up here then. Yep, they do. Okay, 9 crossbows. So what we can do is... Oh, we can't rally them because we need at least 5 to grab it. So eventually they'll see it and then they'll grab it. We'll start getting some more. What I'm going to do is swap this back. Yep, let's start getting rough stone back because we're producing it anyways. So we can get something a bit more useful. We'll get just one trip worth of the rubble stone. Yep, that's fine. And then what we need to do is... Should we start trading with this guy? Probably not. No, there's nothing that we need back here anyways. It would just be to help the small group out, but the small town doesn't really need help. Yeah, let me figure this out. You know, I'm going to let's put somebody on the stonemason station. There's no reason to do less than max for dress stone because we can't use dress stone for anything. The rough stone, I believe is the only thing you can use for the castle anyways. Unless I'm wrong, maybe you do need rough stone. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But either way, we need 20 so that we can get this upgrade going. And then we should be in great shape. We just need to get some ale in here and then we can start upgrading to tier 3. So anyways, I think that's good for the year just about. Let's focus on our new town. And then we have to toggle this a couple times so we can produce our bread. Yeah, it looks like it's down to rye. We'll swap it out. And then same here. Nope, they're still doing wheat a little bit. Yeah, this is crazy how fast they produce. But anyways, we should be good there. All right, so those 2 towns are providing enough bread for themselves, so they don't need to worry about it. And then we need to figure out when we're going to do that here as well. Yeah, we'll start that soon. There we go. Bells ringing for the beginning of March. That is the end of year 5. So let's take a quick look. Did we get those guys finally equipped? No, we didn't. There's definitely equipment up there. They're just not getting it for some reason. 17 now. Come on, dude. You guys got to get it. But that does mean we're going to get rough stone down here soon, so that's good. I don't know how to get them out. Usually I just rally and then disband. If I remove them, I can't get them back ever again because this retinue is going to take a spot and we can only get their 6 retinue, so, or 6 militia. So hopefully it's not bugged. That would be very annoying if that was the case, because I planned this out to be very, very precise. But anyways, not a big deal. We'll figure it out one way or the other. So what do we got? Teufelsberg is starting to trade a bunch of stuff. So we're going to trade pelts for iron ore. That'll help this place make a little bit more money since they don't have that perk. They're actually making pretty good money already. So 393, we can upgrade the rest of these. That looks good. And then we can start getting the hides from here too, actually. Why don't we do that? We can go hides for iron. Yeah, why don't we do that? Since we have a massive amount of labor here. So we'll go Himmelreich. We will send... Oh, no, that doesn't make sense. We need 2 things back. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure that out later, but that's okay. Food-wise, we're good for a while. We got 12 months of food, 34 months of fuel. Let's pull these guys off. Actually, they're just going nuts. And then, yeah, our grain production is really doing quite well at all the places. So I'm happy with that. These guys are still producing rye bread. Yep, there's 76 rye flour in there. And then you can see here, we've got 128 and 80, 10 months of supply. We'll get that running up here soon. And then we still have an huge excess of labor up here. We'll have to figure out something to do. I think maybe more storehouse, more granary workers is never really a bad idea. We also need the stonemasons to start working soon, but they don't quite have the supplies yet. I think we're waiting for them to come back, right? Yeah, they're on their way back right now. So that'll be good. Then we can upgrade our church. And then here, first year for this place, it's already at 16 families. And then 2 more to come soon. Yeah, we're able to get 2 per month here. Fresh settlement plus the approval. So that'll be cool. We probably need to get some better food productions here soon. I mean, we are going to get our mushrooms. And we're hitting it right at the beginning of the year. So that'll be good. But I think what we'll do is we'll start to do farming. I think that'll help. We don't really need the stone, but I guess we'll get it anyways. I mean, whatever. I don't actually know how much stone we'll need for the castle, so it maybe having 2 rich stone deposits will be a good idea. So that might end up being necessary. But we're still like a year or 2 out from being able to get that at this location, because this is going to require quite a bit of logistics to be able to do that. So we'll see. But anyways, that's good. That's going to end it for year 5.